Hello, everyone. I'm Kaveh Ashourinia, and it's a pleasure to share my project and typographical revival of Proto-Elamite with you. Um, this project has been part of the Missing Script program at the Atelier National de Recherche Typographique, and the visiting advisor for this project was François Doucet. We kind of agreed that three of the oldest writing system appear in this region in ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Elam in the Iranian plateau with these scripts or writing systems: Egyptian hieroglyph, Proto-Cuneiform writing, and Proto-Elamite writing, which the last one is the topic of this research. Let's take a look at the Proto-Elamite tablets and writing. Briefly, Proto-Elamite script appeared 53 to 4900 years ago. They are unearthed during 1899 excavation in Shosha, and today we have around 1700 clay tablets. The majority of these tablets found in Shusha in early 20th century, but there are some more examples that they're found across Iran. And there are two main repository of these clay tablets, the National Museum of Iran and the Louvre Museum. And the main purpose of this script or writing was for administrative and bookkeeping purposes. The Proto-Elamite writing comprises of numerical value signs along with logogrammatic and phonetic values. And since the first discovery, a few different archaeologists, researchers developed sign list, which they suggest various number of signs based on the appearance and the overall shape of these signs. More or less, we have 1900 distinct signs, which formed with 500 basic shapes of the Proto-Elamite shapes. Most of the signs, majority of signs, appears only once, twice, or three times. Just less than 20 of these signs used more than 100 times. And Proto-Elamite has not completely deciphered yet. Let's take a look at this Proto-Elamite tablets. They can represent a minimum body of information to more complex and more information. We can categorize these tablets in three groups based on the overall shape of the tablet itself and how these signs are written or inscripted on these tablets on the surface. Each tablet has two sides, upwards and reverse, obviously, and three sides on the top, right side, and the left side. But as you see in this slide, I put top on the right because the reading direction of these tablets has been the area of arguments in archaeologic work. A group of scientists believe that Proto-Elamite written top to bottom from left to right, while the others say we have to turn these tablets 90-degree clockwise and read it from right to left, top to bottom. Here is the schematic drawing of these two areas. For the purpose of this research, this project, I am using the second idea, which is written from right to left, top to bottom. So the reverse side of, or the back side of this tablets have two purposes, depending on how you rotate the tablet. If you rotate from the vertical axis, you will get the summation of information on the front side. If you rotate from the horizontal axis, you can continue the information from the front. Let's take a look at signs. There are few basic shapes that we can create different signs of Proto-Elamite. The first group of these shapes are these triangular shapes. The second groups are these circular shapes, but some of them are deeper, showing deeper impressions. Some are showing shallower impressions. With the same diameter of the circular shapes, we can we can see these half oval shapes as well. The next group is this larger diameter, shallow circular impressions. And with the same diameter, we get these crescent shapes. And finally, we have compound signs, which is the use of the first group of the third group of signs, which is the shallow impression of the larger diameter signs with the first group on top of that. And here is one of the more complex and with more body of information. For the medium and instruments, we already know that the only available resource we have is clay tablets. But for the writing instrument, there are three styles. The first one, or the first sort of signs or impression we get, is the pointed triangular stylus. The second one is a smaller diameter cylindrical stylus, and the third one is the larger diameter cylindrical stylus. And each of these create these shapes, which you already saw in the earlier slides. Here is an example of the shapes we can get in this slide. It's impressed on the surface of modeling clay. So before going further, the design objective and process of this project was determining design identity and the stroke logic of Proto-Elamite, conveying a specification of the original media into the digital media while considering technical requirements of the present-day font design, representing the three-dimensional artifacts into two-dimensional font design environment, finding a suitable visual proportion compared to average Latin typefaces, and support researchers' need for documentation and publication. And this slide, on the left side, is an image of one of the original Proto-Elamite tablets, and the right-hand side is a recreation of the same tablet, though there is one missing letter in the recreation because I ran out of space here, but that's fine. So after trying using the stylus and trying to recreate these original tablets and drawing different shapes, I finally came with this idea, with this design, which is not completely triangular. There are flat lines at both ends with a gentle curve along the body of this stroke to minimize any distortion when we are printing on a smaller size. But because these Proto-Elamite signs have different elongation on the in the stroke or in the triangular shape, I had to create different multiple weights with the same characteristic, but to represent the same idea of the same design approach to minimize some distortion or inconsistency. At the end stage, I had to develop 6 different weights of the same design for to represent the stylus A. For the stylus B, or the second one, a smaller diameter, I came with these 3 shapes for the angular half oval shapes. and this 2 on the right for the shallow or deeper impressions. And finally, for a stylus C, this is my proposal. Now take a look at the typeface. At the current stage, it's not finished yet. And while I'm scrolling through pages, you can see the type from larger size to a smaller size. This is 460 point. This is the same size and 320, and moving forward, getting it smaller. And in this slide, you can see the full glyph set at this point. As I said, it's far from being complete, but it gives a good impression of the design direction that we get. And now the representation, or how we can use, or how it works in the real examples. This is tablet P00AT36. Right now, in different publications or different online resources, this is what you get. The explanation and the numbers of each sign. But if you use a typeface, this current project, you can get this as well, along with this information if you want. And here is an in-text example. I try to use two common serif and sans serif types that we usually see in many publications. And because it's becoming a typeface, you can easily use it as in-text font. Some problems and difficulties or decision makings that I need for this project. The first one is for the future of this project is defining multiple weight. Right now, I designed only one weight for this project, but these are the same typeface, the same size, but it's heavier on the topper portion of the screen. You see the typeface seems a bit light, but if the typeface is lighter, it has better harmony with that. The second one was finding a suitable visual proportion of the typeface, which for a long time I was trying to find a harmony between average Latin types and this project. But I think around 2-3 months ago, I decided that it's not really necessary because these two scripts develop with different sort of ideas, mediums, requirements, and these are incomparable. There is no need to make a version that follow the Latin specification of type design. That's why in this one it's a bit taller and it has even better representation on the screen. The second and a bit different sort of difficulties we had, which was the area of discussions, long discussions between me and Francois as a visiting advisor, was representation of depth of a stylus B and C, which, as I mentioned, we have two different impressions, deeper and shallower. Currently, CDLI is representing these shapes for shallow impressions, which is probably working for their purpose, but it's not something that follows the specifications and requirements of font design. We are not using grayscale in font design. As a result, for example, in the latest Unicode proposal, which suggested by Anshuman Pandey, he used halftone for representing this grayscale, which was our idea through the development of this project, which in this slide you can see I developed different patterns, different sizes to represent grayscale or shallow impressions. But the problem is that it might be a perfect representation for one size, but not the perfect for the other size. As you see, the lower bottoms create some sort of distortion because of the confusion for between the resolution of your monitor or your screen and the resolution of these halftones. And on the side, the other problem is creating the higher volume of visual information makes it harder to see. My suggestion was showing this halo circles, which for that I needed some historical reference to convince the advisor. And finally, I was lucky to find this Mage's publication as one of the earliest sign lists, which he used these circles for representation of shallow impression. So if you look on the left side, it's the Mage's publication. The second one is the CDLI EPS files, which I believe developed by Jakob Dahl for his publication on Proto-Elamite. The third one is the latest Pandey's suggestion, and the last one is my solution, which is the halo. It's kind of following Mage's idea. And at the end, to refresh your eyes, here is the full glyph set I developed so far. And thanks for listening. You can find me with this email if you have any suggestion or question. And I'm happy to answer any possible question.
So, thank you. We have time for one or two questions.
If I find, let's stop sharing, yes.
No questions? Questions online, maybe? No questions. So, thank you very much, Kaveh, for your
Thanks,
presentation.
everyone.